Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the brown skinned human, and of course the Super Vader 400 here, back for another video. And as you can see by the title above, this is my part 1 webcam narration portion of my second review of the 2009 film Dragon Ball Evolution and its video game tie-in. This is a remake of the previous video I did. In this video, I will be talking about several things I didn't mention in my first video. For how long my first video was, there were several and a couple of things I forgot to talk about. I will talk about those things in this video, such as more of what I didn't like about the film, more of the reasons why I like this film over the original Dragon Ball, and various other stuff, like give more in my thoughts on Disney acquiring 20th Century Fox. When Disney acquired the 20th Century Fox, they had also, much to my surprise, acquired the rights to the live-action Dragon Ball film franchise. So any future live-action adaptations of Dragon Ball will be handled by Disney. And I talk about what I think about this and the future, and I also talk about what I want to see if Disney ever does do anything with the Dragon Ball license in the future. What I want to see from a Dragon Ball live action film. So yeah, that's what I talk about in this long video right here. And also, as you can see unlike the previous video where the webcam portion was recorded at my old house, this video is being recorded where I currently stay, so making this video more current than the previous one. So with that being said, let's get this video started right now. It doesn't matter what you think of these videos. And one more thing before I continue and make my grand entrance. The links to my previous reviews will be in the description box below. With that being said, let's get this started right now.
Step aside, I turn the
everybody. This is part 2 of my Dragon Ball Evolution movie and video game tie-in 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 review remake. Like I said in part 1, I will talk about several things I didn't mention in the very first review I did. And one of the first things I want to start off with, I want to talk more with what I didn't like about the film and a little bit more of what I did like. Let's start off with what I liked about the film. What I liked about the film, one of the things I didn't mention in part 1, well actually I did mention this part that I'm about to talk about, is like I said, this is one of the only times you have to respect the opinion of a Dragon Ball Evolution hater and a Dragon Ball fanboy. When it comes to Dragon Ball Evolution, is what you like and what you don't like. And in this case, when it comes to Dragon Ball Evolution and Dragon Ball, I do not like the original Dragon Ball, especially stuff made by Toriyama, but I do like Dragon Ball Evolution. And one of the main reasons that is because one of the two biggest differences between Dragon Ball Evolution and the original Dragon Ball is that Dragon Ball is a gag, parody, comedy adventure manga with action adventure overtones. I hate gag, parody, I hate fakery and bullshit, which is what I use to describe Dragon Ball and stuff I can't stand. Secondly, Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball series, since it's a gag comedy manga and anime, it feels more like a mediocre Japanese Saturday morning cartoon than a legit badass anime. That's two of the biggest differences between it and its adaptation, the Dragon Ball Evolution adaptation. Dragon Ball Evolution is a science fiction, action adventure, martial arts, superhero fantasy based epic film. And actually, despite being live action, feels more like a anime than the actual anime of Dragon Ball. And that's the two biggest differences between Dragon Ball Evolution and the original Dragon Ball, and that's the biggest reason why I hate the original Dragon Ball series and love and adore Dragon Ball Evolution. So it comes down to what you like and what I don't like. And thirdly, Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball series, for the most part, there are a couple of good things, but it's everything I hate in stories, manga, anime, comic books, everything, you name it. Pretty much entertainment is Dragon Ball. Everything I hate in entertainment is the original Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Evolution is everything I like in comics, movies, entertainment, etc. And it's like, and Dragon Ball Evolution is more similar to what I like and less similar to what I don't like. Like I said, going back to what I like, Dragon Ball Evolution, even though I think these three were unintentional, Dragon Ball Evolution is more similar to Naruto, Bleach, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and a fourth one, Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat movies from the past. However, I don't think those four were intentional. It's intentional. Those four things I just named, in their own universe with their own rules, were way better written and were more realistic than the original Dragon Ball series. So that's why they have more similarities to those than the original Dragon Ball series. Next, it's also vastly similar to, and I think these were intentional, the Star Wars, Matrix, Marvel, and DC cinematic universes, followed by the 1995 Power Rangers. As for the DC cinematic universe, Dragon Ball Evolution was the DCEU before there was a DCEU. And as for the Marvel Cinematic Universe has Dragon Ball Evolution beat by 1 year, with Iron Man 2008, Iron Man and Incredible Hulk 2008, which were both 1 year before this movie right here. And for me, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Marvel and DC Cinematic Universe, like I said in the very first video, both of these film franchise, in my opinion, they rule the movie world now. So if it's not Dragon Ball Evolution and the Marvel and DC Cinematic Universe, it automatically sucks ass to me. Yeah, I'm that biased. So let's go back to Dragon Ball Evolution. And last but not least, it's similar to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 1995 film, because it has lots of similarities to that movie. It has lots of similarities to that movie right now, with the Fulham Warrior scene, the scene where Piccolo creates the Warriors to go after Goku and the gang, is vastly similar to Ivan Ooze creating the Putty Men and the Tengu Warriors in the 1995 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film, which I adore that film just as much as I adore this film right here. So yeah, man. So yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution. So yeah. So now that I talked about what I liked about the film, I'm gonna talk about what I didn't like about the film. Like I said, I liked everything about the film, but my biggest problems with the film, believe it or not, are various dumb creative decisions made behind the scenes in the film. The first is the let's start off with the deleted scenes. No. Before we get to the deleted scenes, the biggest problem with this film, one of the main reasons Dragon Ball Evolution did not pass the test in 2009 was, most people would say, lack of being in common with your source material. Once again, as always, you don't have to follow the source material, especially with this franchise. Because this started off as Dragon Ball started off as an adaptation as something else. So this is one of many times you really don't have to follow the source material. But yeah, you really don't. You can do your new vision as long as it is good. And this brand new story was good, but the biggest problem was you made this for people. You wanted to attract new viewers to Dragon Ball, which was smart. But you made this for people who have never you made this for people who have seen Dragon Ball. You should have made the story more accessible to newer viewers. You didn't do that. So people who don't follow or care much for Dragon Ball and see this film would be lost, and unless you like films like this, would probably hate this film. I don't bother them I never bothered them as much as I bothered and bullied and talked trash to the protesters, haters, and biased Dragon Ball fanboys. You actually understand and in several ways agree with them, except for I actually like and support and adore this movie, whereas they hate it and probably consider it one of the worst movies of all time. So that was the first problem, not making it accessible to new viewers. Second problem was a couple of inconsistencies and the deleted scenes, which were awesome, which my favorite being the Fulham fight. You should have included all or some of them into the film. They would have helped explain the film more. And speaking of deleted scenes, cutting several scenes from the movie, such as Piccolo and Goku's fight. Justin Chatwin and James Monsters, these guys worked hard and filmed more than a couple of punches, some chi blasts, and last but not least, a Kamehameha wave, man. They filmed way more than that. And even James Masters criticized the producers for cutting their fight. But the battle they showed in the film was good. The story they told was good, but it would have been cool to have several more minutes of what was already an awesome climactic showdown. You spent the entire film building up to that one gigantic climax. It would just be good to have several more minutes of that right there. So yeah, cutting several scenes out of the film. Cutting then, okay, it's redemption time, DVD time, where you get to produce a really good DVD. Dragon Ball Evolution is one of the best movies ever. However, they have, in my opinion, they have one of the worst DVDs of all time. It's just the Justin Chatwin Life After Film School project, which was cool. The gag reel, which was also pretty cool. You have the Worked Up song, a song that's not even in the film. Then you have the how they filmed the dual Chi Chi scenes, which was pretty cool. But I wanted more. I wanted more in the film, an uncut version with all the deleted scenes in there, deleted scenes in there, an unrated version, a commentary from James Wong and the producers why they made the changes they did. I know why they made the changes they did, but I was in a war with the protesters and wanted to be proven right. Wanted to be proven right. Even most of the changes they're even on they're on the website IMDb. If you look at the did you know portion of that page, you'll see most of the changes I was talking about several years ago. But I didn't need it, but it would have just been cool to have it there to explain why you did this and just to prove those those annoying SOBs wrong. So yeah. Next is so yes, what else? What else did I not like about this film? Oh yes, the last thing I didn't like about this film is something that's very minor. It's actually a problem I have with all films today, especially films that feature big budget action and stunt work. During most of the intense stunts, like the falls and acrobatic scenes in Dragon Ball Evolution, it's not the actors. It's an obvious stunt double if you look real close. If you look real close. This is a problem I have with all films, all action, big budget action superhero films I watch nowadays. The actors in the films, they're great actors, but they're not action stars, combatants, and athletes. So that's one problem. Problem I have. Next problem. Next problem I have is during the epic prayer scene where Goku and the gang are learning when Goku summons the Eternal Dragon. Now this scene once again must have been cut from the film. They never show us learning. They never show us. They never show us. They never show Goku learning the prayer. Learning the prayer. I always excuse this because, like I said in the first video, there are multiple scenes like this in Dragon Ball. Another problem I have with Dragon Ball, lots of unexplained moments. With the two biggest unexplained moments are the Zenkai boost and characters in one arc being weak and powerless, then showing up with brand new acquired strength, power, and abilities in the next arc with little to no explanation, with off-screen training being the explanation. So so I forgave that here. What else do I not like about the original? What else did I not like about this film? So that was pretty much oh yeah, and something else would be Roshi's costume. You saw how Goku, one of the main things I didn't mention in the previous video, how his awesome change from the kid in the street clothes, to the clothes he's wearing on the poster now to the blue gi, and last but not least the shin pads, the black brownish shin pads, and the armor, the orange, the signature orange gi on top of his blue gi, and emerging, and when the ship when Yamcha's flying jet crash emerged and came face to face with Piccolo, where Goku officially entered the scene. Before he was this abnormal kid in street clothing. Finally, at the end, Son Goku, that character officially enters the scene. So it was cool with Goku, but I wish you would have done the same with Roshi. He wore first he had on the pajamas in this first scene. Then later he had the Hawaiian shirt, the khaki pants, and brown boots throughout the film. That was awesome, but I wish you would have changed it to something more traditional, like the other temple people for the final battle. Even Bulma got a new outfit towards the end. An outfit of live action reimagined version of Trunks' outfit. That's something I didn't notice in the original during my original first several viewings of this movie right here. So these were things I didn't like about the film. I really don't have to discuss the story much. Story is once again Piccolo and his disciple Ozaru descend upon Earth, start wrecking everything and everyone in sight. Seven mystics come together, they create the Mafuba and seal Piccolo and his dark power away forever, with his Ozaru mysteriously vanishing. Piccolo somehow escapes in the present day and has immediately begun searching for the Dragon Balls with his beautiful follower Mai. He finds Grandpa Gohan and notices the Dragon Ball is missing. He kills Grandpa Gohan. Goku senses it, rushes to the scene only to find his grandpa near death, and on his dying wishes goes on a quest to collect the 7 Dragon Balls before Lord Piccolo can before the eclipse, where Piccolo's disciple Ozaru the Destroyer will return, and if that happens, Goku, Bulma, Chi-Chi, and Yamcha, followed by Roshi, they lose. So like I said, I love the brand new reimagined super realistic storyline. Like I said in the original, like how everyone had lives first. Unlike in the original show, something had to happen for them to go out and find the 7 Dragon Balls. I like how realistic everything. Was portrayed in this film. There are some scenes that were a little bit over the top. I like how realistic everything was portrayed. Like I said in previous videos, I like all the characters. The Dragon Ball Evolution cast, the entire cast of characters are some of my all-time favorite characters in the Dragon Ball franchise, period. Like I said in the previous one, Cell, Brawly, the entire GT and Evolution cast are my favorites, with Jiren, Hit, Kaba, Pikkon, the Warriors of the Dead, the androids, and the villains, and the Ocean Dub cast being honorable mentions. But I'll talk more about that in a future favorite and worst Dragon Ball characters list. So these are some of my all-time favorite incarnation of these said characters right here. So that was Dragon Ball. Well, that was the live-action Dragon Ball film. Now for its video game adaptation. The Dragon Ball Evolution video game. Like I said in part 1, I consider the Dragon Ball. Sorry about that. So I consider the Dragon Ball Evolution video game to be one of the best PlayStation portable games of all time. If this, like I said in part 1, if this was released for modern systems without any extra characters, I would have hated I would have hated this game, but it was only meant for PSP, PlayStation Portable, and for some quick action. And I like how, while being a ripoff of Shin Budokai, just like in Part One, it was more it was true to the it was true to the it was true to the movie. Everyone has their attacks from the movie, and the video game is actually better than the movie. It gives you more action and more dialogue. It's the same story as the previous one, more dialogue and an extra storyline involving Piccolo invading the the Toisan temple with the white turban and rap as a new Piccolo called Neo Piccolo, where Goku fights and defeats him again. I like how this film has every character. That's Goku, Master Roshi, Chi-Chi, Bulma, Yamcha, the Fulham Warrior, which I thought was pretty cool. The Ozaru level is one of my favorite levels. I love what they did here. The human Goku fights the demon Ozaru inside the mind and body of inside the mind of human Goku for control of Goku's body. Then one of the many things I like I said, like in Part 1, Goku in Dragon Ball Evolution sounds like English dub Sasuke, where in this video game right here, it is English dub Sasuke. It is English dub as his voice, and and I think this is one of the best Dragon Ball video games of all time, alongside Budokai 3, the Tenkaichi 2 and 3, Burst Limit, and the new Fighters Z. One of the main things I couldn't stand about Dragon Ball video games, especially the modern ones from PS2, from the 6th and 7th generation consoles, was seeing the exact same levels, same graphics in every video game. Here we got to see new levels. I got to see levels reflecting the set pieces of the movie. And while this game is a rip off of Shin Budokai, like I said, the characters fight and have the abilities they displayed in the movies. Yamcha doesn't have his Wolf Fang fist. He instead has various street fighting maneuvers. None of the characters, with the exception of Roshi, Piccolo, and Grandpa Gohan, can fly, which both of these characters demonstrated moves like that in the film itself. Next is yeah, that was Dragon Ball Evolution the video game. Widely considered one of the worst video games of all time, but I consider it one of the best PSP games of all time and one of the best Dragon Ball video games of all time, and even better than the movie. Gives us more action and more dialogue. This is the fight scene with the bullies. Goku exchanges more dialogue with those guys, with the Ogandis guy hilariously calling him Butthead. What else about this? So yeah, that was the Dragon Ball Evolution video game. Now for my thoughts on the Dragon Ball Evolution franchise, the Dragon Ball Evolution, the future of the Dragon Ball live action franchise. Like I said in Part 1, don't really care about the storyline, as long as the storyline and the script is good. It has the kick-ass action and all the characters from the Dragon Ball mythos. That's all I care about. Don't care how accurate it is to the source material. I just want something good. And I'm pretty sure Disney, with their awesome track record, with what they have done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they can do great things with the live action Dragon Ball franchise. So yeah, that's what I want to see in Dragon Ball. Don't care what saga it is, Piccolo through Cell, hell, even Majin Buu. I hate Majin Buu, but a live action adaptation of that would be good. Would definitely love a live action GT or an adaptation of the Broly movies, man. Yeah, I just wanted it to be good, man. Have all the badass characters like Jiren, Hit, Kabah, the GT characters, and Cell, Broly, Tien, and all those awesome characters. Have them in the franchise, man. So that's what I want with the Dragon Ball series. And by the way, this is just my thoughts on the future. Nothing's been said about what they're gonna do with the live-action Dragon Ball franchise. Fox just has the right. Disney just has the rights. They haven't put down any plans of what to do with the franchise yet. When their plans are announced, I'll do a video talking about it. Well, I've talked longer than I wanted to, even though I'm happy to hear that this video is shorter than the previous one. You don't want to hear the rest of the music, turn the video off right now.